For weeks now, Lebanon has been under heavy attack. The skies are filled with smoke, bombs are dropping, and civilians are caught in the middle. Hezbollah responds with its own counterattacks. And yet, amid all this destruction, there is one glaring question. Where is Lebanon's military? Observers around the world are left wondering why the Lebanese army, the nation's official force, remains quiet. Why hasn't it stepped in to defend Lebanon's borders? Why does it seem as though the military is standing still while its country faces such danger? The answer lies in a complex web of challenges, legal, political, and military, that the Lebanese army faces. There are several critical reasons why the military's silence is not simply a matter of choice, but rather a necessity born out of Lebanon's precarious situation. Welcome to Pin Me. First and foremost, Lebanon's military cannot act alone. It is bound by the authority of the government. But right now, Lebanon is facing a severe political crisis. The government is fragmented, with no clear directive coming from the top. Without leadership, the military is left waiting for orders that never come. General Joseph Khalil Helou, a prominent figure in Lebanon's military, explains that the army's role is governed by the country's constitution and the decisions of the civilian government. The army cannot act without legitimate political authority, Helou states. To act without it would not only be illegal, it would be reckless. Without these orders, the army remains paralyzed, unable to respond to Israel's attacks, even as the threat looms large over Lebanon. Another critical factor is the international legal framework that governs Lebanon's military actions. Lebanon's army is bound by United Nations Security Council Resolution 1701, which was adopted after the 2006 war between Israel and Hezbollah. This resolution strictly limits Lebanon's military from taking unilateral action without coordinating with UN peacekeeping forces in southern Lebanon. Breaking this resolution would have serious consequences. Not only would it provoke further conflict with Israel, but it would also invite international sanctions, further isolating Lebanon and worsening its already fragile situation. Lebanon's military knows that any violation could severely damage its standing on the global stage. The military is also painfully aware of the potential for internal conflict. Hezbollah is not just a militant group. It's a major political force in Lebanon, representing a significant portion of the country's Shiite population. Any move by the Lebanese army that is seen as opposing Hezbollah could spark sectarian violence and lead to a full-blown civil war. Lebanon already suffered a brutal civil war from 1975 to 1990, and the scars are still fresh. General Helou warns that any direct confrontation with Hezbollah could reignite those tensions. If the army turns against Hezbollah, it could tear the country apart, he says. The fear of returning to that dark chapter in Lebanon's history is a powerful deterrent for the army. Then there is the harsh reality of Lebanon's military capacity. The Lebanese army is severely outmatched by Israel's military power, while Hezbollah has developed a sophisticated network of guerrilla warfare tactics. The Lebanese army lacks the resources, firepower, and advanced technology to take on Israel in a conventional battle. Helou explains this disparity clearly. The Lebanese army simply doesn't have the military strength to engage Israel head-on. To do so would be a death sentence for our soldiers. In addition, Lebanon's military relies heavily on foreign aid, particularly from Western nations like the United States and European countries. Any rash action by the army could jeopardize this crucial support, leaving Lebanon even more vulnerable. Finally, Lebanon's military is not only facing external threats, it is also grappling with severe domestic challenges. Lebanon's economy is in shambles, and the country is dealing with widespread poverty, protests, and a massive influx of refugees from Syria and Palestine. The military is stretched thin, working to maintain order at home while also trying to manage the fallout from these crises. Helou points out that Lebanon's army is already overburdened. We are not just here to fight wars. We are trying to keep the country from falling apart. With so much strain on the military, the idea of engaging in a full-scale war with Israel seems unthinkable. So, why hasn't Lebanon's military attacked Israel? The Lebanese army's silence is not a sign of weakness or indifference. It is a calculated decision based on the reality of Lebanon's fragile situation. The military knows that acting without political leadership, violating international law, or confronting Hezbollah could spell disaster for the country. And Lebanon simply cannot afford that right now. In the end, the military's restraint is a strategy aimed at preserving what is left of the nation, even if that means holding back when the world is watching.